Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. So, it's been a long time since I've done this, so I hope everyone's doing well. Good to be back in the saddle. This time last week, I was actually in San Diego with a couple of my friends. Went out there, had an awesome time, hit up some breweries, got fucked up. Saw the Raconteurs while we were out there, which was fantastic. Put on a really great show. It was awesome. I really didn't want to come back, to be honest. That's what it is with vacation. It's like you go out, have a wonderful time, then you have to come back to reality, and you hate life for a couple of days, you know? But I do have to say, it was really smooth. Like, we went to Phoenix Sky Harbor to leave. We flew out. Super smooth. Like, no issues at all. I will say leaving the San Diego airport was a real clusterfuck, though. It's just too many people. There's way too many people, and that airport can't really handle it. That was the only caveat, really. And then the flight got delayed. Shitty weather, but actually when we were on the plane, there was two reasons. I think there was shitty weather, and also there was like this little window of time because the runway was super busy, so they only had a little window of time that they could take off, and after the reports of bad weather, and they were getting ready to back up, and then this kid gets up and says he has to go to the bathroom. Kid was probably like, I don't know, like 4 or something like that, and this is like right in front of me, like 2 rows. And the flight attendant, she's like, right now? She's like, okay, fine, like go fast. And the kid goes to the bathroom, comes back, sits down, and then immediately after that, over the loudspeaker, the pilot says, so we missed our small window to take off, so we're going to have to push the flight back another 40 minutes. Thank you for your patience. And I was like, I think it was due to that fucking kid. I think the kid having to take a shit or whatever it was delayed the plane. But I wasn't too mad about it because I didn't want them rushing to fly into a monsoon over here. So it worked out. It wasn't too bad. It ended up being more like 30 minutes. But shit happens. Flying's crazy. Flying over wasn't bad at all because me and my buddies got really drunk. And, well, not super drunk, but, we caught a buzz. So it wasn't scary at all. I get a little tense flying sometimes. But the way back, I was very sober, and the idea of flying into a monsoon didn't sit very well with me, so I was a little bit nervous, definitely, to say the least. But you get over your fears, you do it, and you look at the trade-off, too. It's like, it's so nice. It's like a 50-minute flight. Like, it's so fast. So that, compared to 5 hours of driving, yeah, I'd rather fly, for sure. But it was a great time, man. It was awesome. Lots of beautiful girls out there, lots of great breweries, great weather. I mean, it was a little on the humid side. Went over there during a heat wave, but compared to Phoenix, I mean, fuck, it was beautiful. Yeah, the Raconteurs were on point. Fucking fantastic show. God, those guys are so good. It's hard to pick a favorite album. I love all their stuff, but this new one is tremendous. Help a Stranger. Very, very good. Brendan was on point, as always. Jack, tremendous. They had Dean Fertitta from Queens of the Stone Age with them. And he was also in a previous band with Brendan called the Waxwings back in the day in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that was pretty cool to see him. Yeah, just a great time all around, man. We had an awesome time. Balboa Park, Mission Beach, drinking, Old Town, burritos, In-N-Out Burger. Super unhealthy, but good for the soul, If you guys have the means and the opportunity and a couple days off, I highly recommend taking a little sabbatical, taking a break, getting the hell out of town, because it does wonders, man. I didn't realize how stressed I was until I actually went out of town. But let me put this on a brief pause real quick. Now, the big news, what I finally got around to seeing yesterday, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I'm just going to say, one of the best movies I've ever seen. I kid you not. Now, I know sometimes we'll rip on Tarantino because the big part of that is, when you take film classes and stuff, people always worship Tarantino. And so for a long time, we got kind of tired of it. And I was like, Tarantino, whatever, overrated. But I went and saw this movie. Man, it was one of the best movies I've seen in a long, long time. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 10 out of 10 for me. A perfect film. I will go see it again, probably multiple times. I will own it. I want the poster. That's how much I like the movie. It was just fantastic. It just encapsulated that whole era so perfectly. Like, the attention to detail, the vehicles, the clothing, just the whole... Oh, excuse me. I keep belching. I'm like slamming this seltzer water. Yeah, it was fucking fantastic. It was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Yeah, I was a little nervous about Tarantino because I really hated The Hateful Eight, and I thought, I don't know, is this going to fly off the rails at the last minute? But no, it didn't. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen, honestly. It was absolutely just perfectly executed. I mean, the cast was incredible. DiCaprio and Pitt and Margot Robbie and Kurt Russell and Pacino's in there for a little bit. I mean, the cast is tremendous, and the guy they got to play Bruce Lee, holy shit, fucking amazing. But I don't want to tell you too much, but highly recommend seeing it. It was, I dare say, a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece. Went to the Alamo Draft House to see it, which was pretty cool, over in Tempe. Shout out to them. Fantastic theater. Super nice. Have your beer while you're watching the show. Popcorn with real butter. It was just nice. Comfy seats. Like, watched it on 35mm film. The guy was saying there that I think it's like 50 or 55 theaters in the whole U.S. actually still show 35mm film. So it was really neat seeing that in that format, with the imperfections on the screen and kind of the warmth from the film. Not to sound like a film school douchebag, but it was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. It was great. I want to see it again. Highly recommend it. What else is going on in the world? Let's see. As far as me, a couple weeks ago I did stand-up at Tempe Improv for the first time, which was pretty cool. I hadn't done stand-up in over 2 years, so it was super nerve-wracking. I was like really nervous, to be honest. And it was like a full house too. It was a lot of people. It was a New Faces of Comedy thing, so there was a bunch of other people doing it. But it was a good experience. I didn't do great, because I definitely not. I did mediocre at best. I went up there and I got super nervous. Like, I was like prepping, getting ready to go, and then I went up there, and it was a tough crowd too. They were like really hard to crack. So I went up there and I just forgot everything I was going to say. So I just kind of flew into what I could remember. And then I kind of went into this weird autopilot mode where, I threw in old stuff, new stuff. I riffed with the audience a tiny bit, and it was a good experience, man, but it was tough. And, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing it again this month at some point, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with stand-up, honestly. I feel like if it's not your people, if you're performing to a strange crowd, I mean, that's tough. Like, that's really tough. But if you're performing to people who are coming to see you and they already kind of know what to expect from you, that's different. But I'll definitely do it again. But yeah, that was just a crazy experience, man. It was an honor doing the Tempe Improv, though. That was really cool. Even for a short amount of time with other people. I mean, it was awesome. But yeah, good experience, though. Good to get back in the saddle, because I'd been super rusty. I mean, it had been 2+ years. So anyway, good shit. I do have a story for you guys. I went and saw Beck and Cage the Elephant with Spoon as the opener about 2 weeks ago. And first of all, fantastic show. Cage the Elephant are one of the best live bands around. I think they are going to take the torch from the Rolling Stones as that group to see. Knock on wood, I hope those guys are touring until they're 90 like the Stones. Beck was absolutely tremendous. Great fucking show. But the weird thing was, so I had 2 tickets to the show, right? And one of my buddies had to bail. So last minute, it was a Sunday night show, which was really inconvenient. I was like trying to get someone to come with, and no one was down, no one was able to. And I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just go by myself. So I went by myself to the show, and I get there, and I have seats like right in the middle. Like, there's like the pit, section 100, section 200, and I was in the middle of 200. Get in there, go in. I got my beer, wandering in, getting ready. Spoon's already playing, and my seats are like smack dab in the middle. So I got to pass 25 people to get to the middle. And I'm looking for my seat. I'm looking at my phone, looking at the ticket, and I kid you not, I get excuse me, sorry, a car went by. So I kid you not, I get to the middle of this section, and I sit down, and I look, and the seat is 2 seats away from my very recent ex-girlfriend and another guy. I kid you not. What the fuck is that? She doesn't even like that music. So anyway, she sees me, I see her, it's unavoidable. You're right in the middle of this massive crowd, and she's like, no. I'm like, good to see you. How's it going? And I shake the dude's, or I don't shake his hand, I give him a fist bump, and I give her a fist bump, and I'm like, so my seat's 2 seats away from you. And she looks at me and she's like, no. And I said, yeah. What are the odds of that, right? And I'm like, well, and then she kind of looks around like it's super awkward, And she's like, well, there's plenty of other seats. I'm like, yeah, you're right. There are. I'm like, this is my seat, but yeah, that'd be awkward. So I just told her, I was like, hope you guys enjoy the show. Have a great time. Good to see you. And then I just wandered off, and it was totally, it shook me. It was like weird, like a weird little adrenaline rush, And you could tell she was like freaked out, because we didn't have the most amicable ending to our relationship. But anyway, I was polite. I said hello to both of them. I wasn't a dick. And I think that's the way to go, But what are the odds that place holds like 40,000 people? It's look up Akchin Pavilion, AKCHIN Pavilion, out in, I think it's kind of close to the Cardinal Stadium. It's like out in Glendale. But, yeah, holy shit, that place is massive. And the fact that to have an assigned seat, it's 2 seats away from your ex and some other dude. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? That's the universe saying something. That's the universe wanting you to see each other. But I tried to handle it like a champ. Tried to be polite. I was like, hey, enjoy the show. Have a good time. And then I just wandered off. I'm like, well, where the fuck am I going to sit? So, luckily, I was able to go over like 2 sections onto the right-hand side and find a seat. And I just chilled there. That was good. And after that, after the sun went down and everything, the awkwardness faded. I had another drink. You're like, okay, cool, this is good. And then Cage the Elephant came on, and I totally forgot about her. And, boy, they killed it, man. They just absolutely killed it. It was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. They, between them and the Raconteurs, those guys are just dominating right now. They're, in my opinion, the best you can see or hear. So yeah, Cage the Elephant rocked it, loved him. And then Beck came on, and he absolutely destroyed. He was fucking fantastic. What a talented guy. And then towards the end of his set, during the encore, he invited everyone down to run into the pit. So I did, so I was right there. I was literally like, 10 feet away from Beck. And, yeah, it was just tremendous. It was just a tremendously good show. Had an awesome time. Highly recommend seeing those guys if you have the means and the opportunity and they come to your town. Check it out. But I had to tell you that weird story. It was super awkward. Probably more awkward for her than for me, I would imagine, just knowing her and the way she is. I hope it didn't ruin the show for her, but it probably did. I enjoyed the show. I had a great time, man. It was awesome. It was a really, really good time. And but what the fuck are the odds, though? 2 seats away. 2 seats away, the place holds like 40,000 people. Like, there's like a giant lawn. Like, people put chairs on and blankets on, and like, so many seats. I can understand like a couple rows away, but 2 seats away? Come on, dude, really? Really? What are they? And I bought those tickets last minute, too. Totally strange. Yeah. Anyway, so that kind of stuff happens. I think the universe has a very healthy sense of humor. Little twisted, but... All right, well, let's take a look at some entertainment news. This is pretty interesting. Going back to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it says a 4-hour extended cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood may be coming to Netflix. Ooh. That's very exciting. I would love that. That'd be fun. I wish they did that with every favorite movie, I wish we had the original 3-hour cut of Dumb and Dumber that allegedly was the first early cut of the movie. It was supposed to be this outrageously long comedy. I wish we had additional 25 minutes of Back to the Future and Goodfellas, and God, I wish. There's one great thing about Tarantino. It seems like he, holds on to that extra footage and re-releases things and releases new footage. Kind of like Coppola. Coppola's never done fully editing his movies. Same with Ridley Scott. Those guys are always kind of perpetually adding to the films. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Sam Wanamaker said on the Mutual's interview, there is talk about there being a 4-hour Netflix version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because there were a lot of scenes he shot that couldn't make it into the film because there just simply wasn't room. Wow. I would absolutely love that. The film's already 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but surely there's still a lot of scenes and dialogue to be added and explored. I would love that, because I felt like it created a whole world. You guys are going to hear me rave about this a lot, because I genuinely loved it. I thought it was just so immersive. They did such a great job. Tarantino has voiced his skepticism of streaming services, saying he's not excited about streaming at all. in an interview for the 2015 book, I Lost It at the Video Store. Well, it's 2015. I think he's kind of changed his tune because a lot of his stuff is on Netflix. He's probably making pretty good money off that. Regardless, a 4-hour cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wouldn't be the first longer version of a Tarantino film to hit Netflix. His 2015 movie was a 4-part miniseries on the streaming platform. I'm assuming they're talking about Hateful Eight. And he's also revealed that he's made a 200-minute director's cut of Django Unchained, which will be released after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Cool, I did enjoy Django. Django was good. But I will say, 100% for me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was his best. Absolutely. And I think a big component of that was Pitt and DiCaprio having producer power or just heavy creative say in the matter, you know? Fantastic. Well, I guess we could check out Variety and see what's going on. See if anything's cool going on with the movies. I really haven't checked Variety or IMDb in a while, so we could see what's happening. Revved Up returns, box office. While franchise spin-offs can be a mixed bag at multiplexes, Hobbs and Shaw was a win for the Fast and the Furious universe. I can see that. Now, as I said before, I'm not a big fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think it's really cheesy, but I love Jason Statham. I think he's a badass. I think he's great, and love The Rock. So I think those guys getting together, that's pretty cool. Like, that seems like a very intelligent choice on their part. So I can see that being a lot of fun. I mean, the Fast and the Furious world is very over the top and kind of silly, I think, but those dudes, that's cool. That's very cool. Now, I wish that would have been a different thing entirely with those guys together. I wish it wasn't in the Fast and the Furious universe. But, cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. I hope it does well. R. Kelly charged with sexual crimes in Minnesota. You don't say. Yeah, R. Kelly seems like a terrible human being. I'm sure he's going to go to jail for life. He seems awful. Trump condemns weekend mass shootings. I would certainly hope so. Yeah. The whole mass shooting thing, I mean, God, yeah, it's off the rails. I mean, it's just awful. There's just so much freaking senseless violence. It's just the worst, man. It seems like every day it's like the flags are perpetually at half mast, you know? Like, it's just, or mast, I should say. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. If someone's really going out there to kill, why are they killing innocent people? It just doesn't make sense. It seems like some kind of weird, I don't know, slightly orchestrated type of hysteria. Because it seems like you'll have a shooting, then a week later there's another shooting, and I don't know, it's terrible, man. My advice, anyone out there who's thinking of doing anything like that, do not. Go seek help immediately. And my thing is, if you're actually going to go and pull the trigger on someone, go become a vigilante. Go kill bad people. You know? I mean, I don't condone any kind of killing at all. It's horrific. But I just don't understand killing innocent people. That just does not make any sense. That does not add up. I don't get it. But I could understand a vigilante going off and cleaning up the streets and fighting crime like the Punisher or Charles Bronson in Death Wish. Like, if someone was doing that, that would be cool. That would be really cool, you know? Yeah, I just don't understand this mass shooting thing. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Absolutely horrific. Enough on that. You hear enough of that on the regular news. Sorry, guys, but it's just weird. It's just really, I don't remember hearing that a few years ago, you know? I mean, obviously, I guess Columbine kind of kicked it off, but I don't know. Now it seems like a weird trend. Like, you hear about it all the time. I don't know. Anyway, on a lighter note, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Come on, everybody. More of a role model than you might imagine. The cartoon character spells hope for a new generation in her first live-action adventure. Well, all right. I don't give a shit, but I mean, that's cool. I'm sure it'll make a lot of money. I'm sure a lot of kids will go see it, and families. What's cool on Variety is there is a lot of news on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, working with Tarantino. I can just see DiCaprio saying, "Yeah, he's insane, but he's a genius." That's probably the gist of it. Margot Robbie says Barbie movie will put positivity into the world. I could see her being Barbie. She's perfect. She's so beautiful. She has that like almost, absolutely perfect look to her. She'd be a good Barbie. I could see that. What else do we have going on? Alamo Drafthouse CEO Tim League talks LA opening, streaming competition, and vegan concessions. Oh, they're going to dominate. I love Alamo Drafthouse. I was just saying that place is so cool. That was actually my first time going there, seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was my first time experiencing Alamo Drafthouse, and I think it's great. I think that's the way to see movies. Event Horizon series in development at Amazon. Never saw the original, to be honest. Never saw it. R. Kelly, Little Mermaid. Boy, kind of a slow news day. Well, let's look at film. Let's hop in here. Okay, same thing. Hobbs and Shaw. TV. See what's going on in TV? Okay, Variety's a little boring today, guys. I apologize. The things I'm excited for the Joker movie. I think we've already talked about that. I think that's going to be brilliant. Let's check IMDb. Maybe that'll have a little different news. As far as music goes, I mean, I know I already kind of ranted about Cage the Elephant, but I listened to Social Cues all the way through finally about a week ago. I'd only heard the singles off of it, and I listened to it all the way through, and I listened to it like 3 times that day. It was absolutely fantastic. So if you guys haven't heard Social Cues by Cage the Elephant, listen to it immediately. I highly recommend it. I think it's one of the best albums this entire year, and I hope they win a Grammy. It's fantastic. I hope they win a Little Old Lady. I hope they win a Grammy. All right, news. Boy, I'm just not getting anything here, guys. IMDb's kind of boring. IMDb news. Top IMDb news. Okay. Little Mermaid, live, becomes Disney's second colorblind casting of Ariel. Fascinating. Always making it about race, aren't they? Man, they're so behind the times. Amazon board Simon Pegg, Nick Frost series Truth Seekers. Awesome. Love both those guys. Truth Seekers, starring Nick Frost and Simon Pegg as paranormal investigators, will bow on Amazon Prime Video, which has landed international rights to the comedy horror series and will launch it as an original. The project is the first series from its stars' Sony-backed production company Stolen Picture. Oh, that's going to be fantastic. Paranormal investigators, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg. Love it. The series will be called Truth Seekers. Martin Scorsese's The Irishman to close London Film Festival. I'm excited about that. Now, I have seen mixed reviews on the CGI and the makeup and how they've made the guys look younger. That did look a little strange. It was a little odd. But I'm not counting it out because I love that cast and I love Scorsese. So I think that movie's going to be tremendous, honestly. And it's neat to see Joe Pesci coming back. I'm actually very excited about that. Creator of Emmy-winning Treehouse dies at 80. Stu Rosen. I gotta be honest, I don't know about Dusty's Treehouse. I don't know what that is. But, looks like the guy made an impact. That's important. Too bad he's gone. Okay. Wow, there's really nothing going on. It's all really boring news. Here, Lana Del Rey covered Donovan, Season of the Witch. Yeah, Season of the Witch. That's a great song. Donovan was cool. I feel like Donovan never really got the accolades that he deserved. I think he always kind of ran in the same circles as, like, the Beatles and the Stones and Clapton and people like that, Dylan. But he never really got the accolades he deserved. He was always kind of on the sidelines. Same with Mark Bolan. I think Mark Bolan never really got the accolades he deserved in that era. I think those guys were both tremendous. If Trump fooled you twice on background checks, shame on you, Rolling Stone. Wow. Rolling Stone with an over-opinionated left opinion. Classic. Yeah, the media is just so left, dude, and so biased. It's ridiculous. I'm very middle of the road, personally. I'm more middle of the road, but I just find it funny how the media is so biased, I'm not even going to dive into that. That's just a chasing your tail type thing. Like, it's never ending. Okay, Walking Dead spinoff casts younger star Nico Torella in a lead role. I'm not big on The Walking Dead. I gotta be honest. It's a show I'd like to go back to and revisit, but I never was obsessed. I didn't follow it. I watched the first 2 seasons and I thought they were really well made. I thought they were really, really cool. Just something I never really got obsessed with, though. It never drew me in like Breaking Bad or anything like that. Maybe eventually I'll go back and check it out, but I just don't care. I just don't really care. I know a lot of people love it. That's cool, but meh. Okay, this is getting boring, guys. I don't really have anything else to talk about as far as movies, because honestly, the only thing to see right now is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Nothing else I'm really even excited about, except August 15th, the final cut of Apocalypse Now is going to be showing in IMAX. Very excited about that. Super excited. A couple of my friends have not seen the movie, so this will be their first experience seeing it, and they can see Apocalypse Now in IMAX. So I'm actually incredibly excited about that. Super stoked. Super excited. That's about it, guys. I don't have anything else to really bitch or moan about. Sorry, the news, the news was so boring. Big recommendations, obviously, Social Cues, and Help a Stranger. Those albums. Those are my recommendations. Movie recommendation, obviously, as you know, Dora the Explorer. Just kidding. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my movie recommendation. And as far as television goes, on the old Hulu, I've been watching 11/22/63, the James Franco series. And I know it's older, it's been out for a couple of years, but I just recently started watching it, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I'd been told by a bunch of people to get on it when it came out, and I didn't. But I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. Great Stephen King material. James Franco does a great job as an actor and a producer. 11/22/63. If you haven't seen it, check it out. That's about it for me, guys. I don't have anything else to say, so thanks for listening to the podcast, and hopefully we'll talk again sooner rather than later. Take care.